Hey y'all, so in this video I am showing y'all how I retwist, detangle, and color locks. Now I have to be honest, my client already had her locks colored previously, but I do know a lot about hair coloring. I do not specialize in locks at all, but I have retwisted and styled her hair years ago, so it wasn't a big deal for me. Honestly, I was not prepared to do all of this to her hair. I went out and bought hair color for her. I went out and bought the lightener from our local beauty supply store, and she just basically told me to do whatever I wanted or whatever I thought would look good. So that's what I went for. And at the first, I was a little unsure about the styling part. She loved her length, so I kept the length and all that good stuff. But anyway, back to the video. First, we're going to go in and color her roots because she has some gray going on, and it is her birthday. So we went in with I went in with the dark mocha and jet black first. The reason why I chose those two colors to mix together is because I didn't want it to be a harsh bold black, being that we chose multiple colors for her ends. I was really focused on her hairline because that's where a lot of her gray was. So I was trying my best to cover that up first as much as possible and blend the rest of the black out towards the stopping point of where I was going to start the color. I also was making sure that I didn't get close to the areas that I was going to be lightening because I didn't want the lightener to hit the black and make it bleed into the lightener, because once the blonde is there, it's going to stain it. I didn't want the colors to merge too much together during this process. So, and this is a double process. Technically, I could have went in and colored the roots, rinsed that out, came back and did the lightener if I was unsure about what I was doing. That's the proper way to perform the multiple color technique, especially when you just keep keeping one color at the roots. That's the safest way to do it. My client did not have her hair done in a while, so some of her locks were kind of merging together. So I had to go in and detangle them a bit, but I did that process after I finished the coloring process. I was not stingy with the hair color at all. I think I used about 4 bottles just to do the top portion and about 6 bottles to do the ends. Now with the lightener here is the Blue Quick that I found at the local beauty supply store. I decided to just use this old container that I had for lightener and mixed all of the lightener into that bowl. I used about 4 scoops of that one and half a bottle of developer. And with your lightening dreads, you want to make sure that you're saturating all the way through, because if not, you're going to have specks or browns or blacks, whatever color the original color is of their hair. If you do not smudge in that lightener, you're going to have specks. And I did not want her hair to appear cheetah print or have spots from where the lightener didn't saturate well enough throughout the lock. So here I am just smudging that lightener through, and I went through multiple times of doing this. I used the entire tub and about a half a scoop more to complete the lightening process. And I really wanted to make sure that I faded out the green stain that she had left from the previous color that I did not do. I went mid-shaft on my way down to the ends because I didn't want to over process her locks, and I just wanted that green to turn golden just enough to match the mid-shaft area, because I want it to be bright enough for the color to show up very well and vibrant for her as she requested. Now I'm working on the other side. Her hair was actually processing very fast, so I ended up going to get my water bottle to prevent it from overly processing. I constantly checked the locks to make sure they were turning the tone that I was looking for, which was not a platinum or blonde. It was just like a perfect yellow tone. And y'all are gonna have to forgive me because I did go live in the middle of this process. This video is helping somebody out there in the world, especially that person that commented on my reel saying that they were expecting me to talk a little more. But here I am. I only used Adore and Kiss. I used Sunrise Orange for the tips, and then I went in with the neon pink and baby blue, then clover at the top. So when clover and then blue overlapped each other, they turned this pretty purplish bluish color. It was very, very pretty. And the pink faded into the orange, which kind of made the beginning of the orange a little red. So that's how I got those different colors outside of the colors that I use, and I knew that that was going to happen. I love creating vivid hair colors, so it's always an exciting process for me, and I like to surprise anybody that asks me to provide a coloring service for them with a little more detail. I don't know, color is just one of those things that it can always be recreated as close as possible, but never exactly like I do it. Not sounding cocky, but you know, I have my ways and my tricks for the hair coloring thing. It's very, very fun and very exciting. Here I am drying the color a bit, making sure that soaks up in there really good before rinsing it out. And I do have a whole different technique that I use to rinse colors out, especially when I'm using multiple colors at one time to prevent them from bleeding into each other. But that will be on a different video, so stay tuned for that. I will definitely be more than happy to post that video of how I prevent my colors from overly bleeding into each other during the shampoo process. So this is how the color looked before rinsing it out. It was very pretty, very vibrant. If you're interested in seeing part 2 on how I detangle and retwist it and style these locks, make sure you subscribe.